full-time trip in the building. What's going on, everybody? Arsenal won, Brentford won at the Emirates Stadium. Gonna talk about it and break it down. I got my dogs, Stay Ghostin and Timo Too Good in the building. What's good, gentlemen?
Yo,
Jane Holmes. How
Ah,
everyone doing?
hey man, we're doing the best we can considering that draw. Tough performance. A team that has been unbeaten in 9 in Brentford. Really physical side. We had a go ahead goal with Leandro Trossard in the 66th minute, and again equalized from Ivan Toney. A lot of different, maybe questionable points of interest and decisions. A lot of different, points of the performance. What would you guys make of it?
Well,
go on, Timo.
uh, yeah, no. I mean, if you have to look at the reflection over the 90 minutes, uh, we there's an element of lethargic behavior. I feel like the players they want to get back on the right foot, and I think we saw that within the first 15 to 20 minutes. Um, Unfortunately, as you raised the point earlier, Brentford haven't lost a game in 9. And you can clearly see how they have not lost a game in 9. They are very compact, position themselves very well. Again, another deep block that Arsenal have to, somewhat figure out, and it did take us a while to kind of get into the game. And if we're being completely honest, you know, um, Brentford with the number of chances and the quality of chances that they created, it could have been a few goals before we actually even scored our first. So I'd say we're pretty lucky to have got the 1-0 lead in the initial spot, and then obviously there's always going to be controversy when the goals are scored against us. But if we're looking at it from perspective of where we can move forward, I just think it's a thing we need to play a bit faster. Especially with now the City game now looking as if it's going to be the most important game of our season. But yeah, I guess honest outlook, we could have done better, but it is what it is.
Yeah, a
You
hundred
know,
percent. I feel like in this run of games, when the league is so difficult, when we're running up against teams who are coming up against new manager bounces, new systems, managers refreshing the squad. A Brentford side who put the sword to Man United, put the sword to Manchester City, beat them 2-1, beat a really good Brighton. Like they've only had shocking shambolic losses to like Newcastle, and then that was it. That was like in October. Aside from that,
Mm-hmm.
they've been putting in performances almost week on week. You know what I'm saying? Drawing with Spurs, taking it to big teams, bro. Putting Liverpool to the sword as well. Like there's a lot to go up against here, man. And the league's not going to be easy. So it's a little bit of a slowdown in our progress, but we came up against a tough side today, and I feel like we could have gotten to it, but it just again like the lethargic, man. We feel like we blowing smoke, a little bit of slowdown in our play. But G, what'd you make of it?
Yeah, I can't lie. I think lethargic is definitely the right word. I feel like there was definitely phases in the game where it looked like the tempo was picking up, and we was like putting pressure onto Brentford. But I feel there was a lack of consistency with applying that pressure, because I feel like a lot of the victories that we've had against other teams will literally be on them from the first minute to the last minute. Everyone's working hard, everyone's running, constantly applying pressure on teams, and you can see like the synergy of the squad as a whole. But I feel like today things were a little bit slow at times, sometimes a bit disjointed, some sloppy mistakes as well, especially in the final third. But yeah, overall
Yeah.
it's very average performance to me, at least.
To jump on this point real quick, you guys thought we missed Gabriel Jesus today? How you feel about that?
yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
even
I
gonna lie
think
to
we
you.
did.
Jesus has been missed. I think we missed him heavily against Everton, and I think that's kind of led into this game. And that's nothing on the sort of progress and the leaps and bounds that Eddie has made over the last 6 to 8 months. I still think he's a very quality player, and he does offer us something different. But I think I think it's very evident to see how well we play with Jesus when playing against deep blocks, because his overall positioning, his ability to kind of be somewhat a hound, trying to retrieve the ball back, and his ability to just carry the ball in deeper areas to cause problems for deep blocks are just they're missed severely. I think the other thing I'd actually even touch on is that the number of touches that Jesus gets before we even get into the 18-yard box are heavily
Very
missed
high.
as well.
Very.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's another thing you'd obviously look at the rest of the squad now. Well, I guess in terms of even the game that we've just watched, like where we talk about lethargicness and whatnot, but I think it's also the fact that our first touch on the ball, let us down quite a few times in the game as well. So I think it's something that, you know, needs to definitely be straightened out as soon as possible. But yeah, no, Jesus is missed severely. I will not deny that one at all.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like teams like, you know, Everton, Brentford, even when like we faced Newcastle as well, I feel like someone like Jesus, he's very good for breaking down teams like that. And, you know, his dribbling is insane. You know, removing certain defenders out the game with his dribbling, I feel like he's definitely missed. But again, you know, a lot of people are complaining about Jesus not getting enough goals. And I feel like Eddie does bring us goals, but at the same time, we need someone that can, you know, break down these teams and be capable of getting a goal or an assist. You know, like
100%.
that's my thought. So I do feel like we missed out on Jesus today.
Yeah, 100%, man. I feel like we're hitting that point where we need to get Jesus back to beat all teams. You know, to have we again, it's not necessarily competition between places. It's just tools in a toolbox. I think I said this a couple weeks ago. Everybody is a certain tool in a toolbox to make certain things. When Zinchenko, you know, is doing this thing and we're running out of steam and we need a bit more security, we bring on KT for some explosiveness on the outside. You know what I'm saying? When Martinelli's not doing his business, we bring in Trossard for a little bit more technical security, maybe a little bit more directness in a short burst. We have tools in a toolbox, and Jesus is a big tool for us to break down low blocks, like we're seeing from this, like for like Everton, like that. His ability just to be an absolute live wire, and just draw people out, make defenders scared, put them on the toes, you know what I'm saying, all by himself. That allows so much more freedom for everybody else to, you know, interact and intermingle with the team, and that brings us victories. So yeah, I think we need to really like strap in. Let's hope. Listen, I will send my own kneecaps. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll send my kneecaps right now. Amazon, like 1-day delivery. I will make it happen, bro. I could be in a wheelchair, Professor X vibe for the rest of my life, bro. Jesus, come back soon. We just need him back. We just need him back. All right, but let's get through these player ratings really quickly. Just run through the 1 to 11, a couple of the subs and all that stuff. So I'll start with Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale, I'm gonna give a 5 today. That I feel like he dives too early for the goal we conceded, bro. He went to chop it down, bro. I'm like, bro, you gotta chill with the Tom Cruise stuntman theatrics, bro. You just stand tall. He probably could have got that or tipped it if he got tall on that. So distribution wasn't bad. You know, I think there were some things that just were unlucky, missed chances that just weren't necessarily on him, but otherwise, I'd say bog standard 5 for that, man. And not the best showing. Throw it to G next. I thought it was you for Ben White.
Ben White, I'll be honest, I'm probably gonna give him like a 5.5. And I know a lot of people probably watching think of 5 is bad. A 5 is just bog average.
Yeah.
But 5.5, you know, he provide like continuous efforts to try and like overlap and make things happen, but today just wasn't the day. But it was clear, like on his behalf, like he didn't give up. To me, didn't look very like lackluster. Like he was still trying, making effort. But today just wasn't the day. But yeah, 5.5.
Yeah, Lord, I personally think he was the best out of the defense today. In my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. Timo, we're gonna throw it to you for William Saliba.
Oof, boy. I think I'm probably gonna give Saliba a 5. Generally just because, you know, and I don't want to say it's harsh and in regards to an average performance, because he's come up against a very physical player in Ivan Toney, and Ivan Toney's pretty much won that battle, I believe, today. I would say it's like, I'd say in a way I wouldn't be surprised if it's rattled Saliba's cage in any case, but I just think it's a thing where it wasn't just Saliba that had a handful with with Toney. I think that entire defense probably had a tough day. You know, did what he needed to do in some areas. Probably got away with a few free kick challenges here and there. He will feel hard done by for the challenge that actually resulted in the actual free kick that, you know, gave them the goal in the first place. Because at the end of the day, I feel, and I feel a few Arsenal fans will feel that he was the one fouled in the process. But yeah, I'd say a 5 probably justifies the performance as a whole. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. And I can take on Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm gonna say probably a 5 as well. It just, again, it wasn't the center back's best day out. We need to stake a claim, and I'll be the first to say it. Like yo, Mbeumo and Tony are one of the best partnerships, probably the most underrated partnership in the league right now. Like, yo, they're They're ridiculous. They're physical. They have good synergy. They know when one needs to run, when one needs to, like, be more direct or stay plan and be a target man. So fluid, flexible. Tony can be on the right hand side whipping across, and Mbeumo can do the same thing, be on the end of a cross. Like, their synergy and their partnership is something that needs to be addressed. People need to understand that they're very, very dangerous, bro. So shout outs to them. And they gave Saliba and Gabriel a tough time. They were beating them almost every duel, and Gabriel and Saliba were just the worst off. So I gotta say both of them were about the same. But yeah, Gabriel 5. G will give you Zinchenko.
Zinchenko. I'll be honest. To me, I don't know how you two feel, but for me, I feel like our our fullbacks played the best today out of the defense. And for Zinchenko, I'm gonna give him a 5.5 as well, the exact same as Ben White, because again, he was doing the exact same thing, but from his side, like he was getting the ball, trying to progress the play, constantly making an effort. Even if things didn't go to plan, he didn't drop his head and start walking slow. He was tracking back, defensive duties and offensive duties, and there were a couple moments where he done a couple passes that I felt were a bit too early or wrong timing, but overall, he was literally just making an effort to progress the play forward, not passing backwards too frequently, and again trying to make things happen. Him and Ben White, for me, I feel for me they're probably two of my favorite performances, even it being a average performance for both of them, but defo slightly better than the rest of the team, to me at least.
Word. Hear it. I hear it. All right. Timo, moving to you for Martin Odegaard.
Well, hey, I want to give Odegaard a 6. I'm used to giving Odegaard much higher ratings, as we've been able to see over the duration of the season. He's been as influential as someone like a Jesus and a Saka and a Martinelli in recent times, and obviously contributing a number of goals and the sort of play that he's been able to find with us. I just feel today was one of those days where, again, like I spoke about in regards to the first half, in regards to Brentford needing to kind of, we needed Brentford to kind of force the issue a bit more to kind of get the best out of Odegaard. I feel like in terms of ball progression and finding the right passes, Odegaard didn't have an issue. I just think as a whole, the team weren't where they needed to be today. And I think that some people can say that might be Odegaard's fault. I'd more like to say that as a unit, it just didn't function the way we wanted it to. But considering that, I don't really talk about pre-assists and match programs, but considering the contribution he had towards the goal on the side that he was on, it obviously helped towards Trossard's first goal for Arsenal. So that's why I feel like, okay, I can give him a 6 for it. But yeah, that's as far as I can say.
Yeah, I think he was one of our better performers today, to be honest. Thomas Partey, I'm going to give a flat 5. Hey, listen, bro. All I gotta say is doom, doom, doom. Touch no Omarion. Them 2 touches he took in the game they were so bad. They were so bad, bro. That touch no Omarion, it was a non-existent, bro. But honestly, again, he was pretty much, it was pretty much bog standard performance aside from just some of the tempo. It was a little bit sloppy throughout the first parts of the game and middle of the game. I didn't feel like he was on it as much as he was. Towards the end of the game, I feel like he was getting more secure. It was into the groove, and he was starting to dictate play in terms of getting balls in the box and then trying to get that last minute winner, but didn't fall off. And I felt like we kind of got overshadowed. The midfield kind of got overshadowed today, especially how Brentford played. So it was a tough day out. But Thomas Partey 5. G, your boy Granit Xhaka.
I said, last match day, I'm very honest when it comes to Xhaka, and he's definitely one of my top 3 Arsenal players in terms of favourites. But I got to show respect with that honesty, and for him, it's to me at least, it's a flat 5 as well, because I feel like even I mentioned last game, he did seem a bit off in terms of his performance compared to previous matches. And I feel like the last game and this one are definitely 2 of his more flat performances. I feel don't get me wrong, he was doing well to cut out some of Brentford's counter-attacks when he was trying to get through the middle, and, he was doing his job at the end of the day. But I feel like we just need that little bit extra from him. Those games where he'd get forward, help progress the play, make passes, drift into the box, get a shot off to the, challenge the keeper. That's the sort of play I want to see coming from Xhaka again.
Yeah.
But today we're just flat. Like I feel like he just done
Just
his role,
he's
average standard.
Get
and
them running stats up, man. Yeah, I need him to be Xhaka from pre World Cup, man. I feel like it might be an energy thing.
I'd like to add to that point. I feel that and you guys can probably tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like with Xhaka as well, I think since the introduction to of Nketiah to the starting lineup, that third man run hasn't been used as excessively because of how
the
much
lack of fluidity. You're right. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
so I feel like as much as I am not the biggest Granit Xhaka fan, but I feel like I can sympathize because where we are missing Jesus isn't just in one area on the pitch.
It affects it all over because he's been all over. I agree 100. You put it that way, I definitely agree. The fact that it can't be as fluid and there isn't like holes or gaps created, things are a lot more rigid. Our game at times is, again, it has to be more rigid because Nketiah is sticking centrally. He's sticking there. He's not coming left and right and linking with Martinelli and stuff like that. So we have to kind of like hold off in a sense, and maybe they're not as prepared for those transitions, or they're not as awful when it comes. And by the time he's ready to get into that third man run, like defense is already 2 men down. You know what I'm saying? The transition's dead. It's locked off. So I hear you. I agree with that. So yeah, people we're suffering a little bit from Jesus' thing, especially again, these low blocks, these 4-5-1s are the bane of our existence, bro. When Jesus comes back, we're killing it for the rest of the season. We're cooking them 4-5-1s, I promise. But for now, he's got to ride the storm for now. But moving on to Bukayo Saka. I think Timo, that's you.
Right. Well, Starboy, definitely. I wouldn't even say. I would say it's one of his. I don't want to say too much in regards to it being a quiet performance because I feel like he did give Rico. Is it Rico Lewis or Rico?
Rico Henry.
Rico Henry.
Yeah.
Gave him quite a tough game. Showed a lot more physicality. A lot more physicality to his game today. More than I've probably seen over the last few games. Normally we're most prone to seeing Saka, run at his defender and be able to twist him in and out. And I saw more in a sense of off the ball positioning that I was happy to see it, considering how the goal was scored as well. I would say I'd give Saka maybe a 6, maybe a 6.5. I feel that the important periods in the game where we kind of needed something, I feel like he was ever present. Probably had a few, was probably unlucky with the number of shots he got blocked, but the assist towards the goal for Trossard, I feel, gives him that 6.5 alone, and he played a pretty good game.
I agree. I agree. I'll be honest with that one. I'll go Eddie Nketiah. I gotta give him. I'll give him a 5. I think I'm giving him a flat 5. I feel like he was, again, there in certain moments, not there in certain moments, but it's like after a while, he needs somebody next to him to really get that link. Like, he's a beneficiary of a lot of different movement, and I feel like sometimes he'll initiate it himself, like, just him making good runs and stuff like that, but he's not going to be that ball carrier. He's not going to be the one that's, in most times, especially in the low block, he's not going to initiate the move. He's going to try and get himself into an advantageous spot to benefit off a certain move. But it's like when things are really rigid and all of us are, kind of like making measured passes in the team, it's hard for him to benefit. I think it's really hard for him to benefit in those types of situations. So I'm going to say box standard 5. I think there's maybe some room for him to pick it up. I can't remember too many chances he had throughout the game. I need to go back and watch the tape, but for now I'll say 5. And moving on, Gabriel Martinelli.
Martinelli. Ooh, this one's kind of difficult. I won't even lie. Martinelli. I can't lie. I feel like this is the most common rating I've given, or at least earlier. But I'll give Martinelli a 5.5 as well. I feel like I saw glimpses of the Martinelli that I love to watch play football. Yeah, definitely better than last week. And I feel like because we know, like, he'll always track back and help Zinchenko or help Xhaka, it gives Zinchenko that freedom as well to like make some of those runs and get forward, because he knows Martinelli's going to track back with him, help defensively. And I think that definitely allows a lot of freedom on that left-hand side. for them to interchange with one another, help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like offensively, he done a lot better today than he did against Everton as well. And
I agree.
it's usual Martinelli. Like I saw a glimpse of him being more direct again, making them runs, being a headache for defenders, and
the extra help on the other side is being fluid and coming over. Like that helped. I think that boosted a lot of his activity too.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also with him, you can quote me if I'm wrong. I feel like he came off at like 60 minutes played, and
60.
I feel like that's the earliest I've seen him come off. And I don't know if maybe he's a bit tired or lacking a bit of fitness, or maybe we're just saving him for City. But I feel like he does need a bit of a rest to get back to full capacity. Like I don't know if probably not against City because I'd rather see him start, but maybe in a couple of these other games, maybe get to see Trossard start and let him get a bit of a rest. But I do think that on that left hand side, like he should be the primary starting player, but he needs a bit of a rest. I won't lie.
Rest in competition. I think. Listen, it's all better for that. But I agree with you on that one though. Moving through, I'm gonna give Fabio Vieira a bulk standard 5. Just I want to skip over that in the interest of time. I'm about to say Timo, Leandro, Trossard.
Well, like I said, and if I can even touch back to Martinelli just briefly, I guess we kind of saw immediately how different the complexion of the game changed as soon as Martinelli hobbled off the pitch, and I won't say that in a way in which it's discreditory towards his performance.
It's just different.
Because I like I said, like the ball in from Saka, it was something we missed throughout the entire game, and I think Martinelli scores that same goal that Trossard scores. So it's quite difficult for you to kind of determine where. Hold on a second.
No, you're good. What's it called? But I'll pick it up. I'll pick up the point. But yeah, it's like you can't really judge where how play would have been effective if Martinelli stayed on for that goal or not. But I feel like it was just something. Trossard offers something different in that sense. I feel like he was a lot more direct in that sense. But go ahead, Timo.
100%. I feel like he was. I feel like in terms of 1v1, a lot more direct. Tried to make something happen in the sense of whether he was cutting inside or going down the byline. He's connecting with a few more players. Always wanted to get a shot off. I mean, you saw as soon as he scored his goal, he was confident to try and get another. As soon as Odegaard released the ball, I feel that he, like you said, he offers something different, and I feel like at that moment in the game, that's something we need, and especially when you have players off the bench that can do that, you'll see how much or how many more points you can win later on in the season. Great for him to get his first Arsenal goal. I can't stress that enough. Very good moment for him. I think I'd give him a 6.5.
Yeah, he was my man in the match today. I say 6.5 is solid. My man in the match came on, changed the game. Was good throughout. So yeah, solid stuff from him there. I say fans, I'm gonna give 11 off the rip because they were singing throughout the 90. Shout outs to them. The ref was, I'll say negative 3.14159.265, 8272 negative pi. You could hold that. Because I don't know what you was on, and you literally did. Neither them nor the VAR checked. What's it called? Norgard being offside for the second touch, which was completely offside. But I'm not gonna talk about that because whatever. They had like a million chances. I'm gonna just ignore that, and I'll leave this to you two. Mikel Arteta, what's his rating?
Ghostin.
Mikel Arteta. It is with the manager. Yeah, it's always kind of difficult because like he'll put out his game plan and the lineup is unchanged. Like these players know what's expected of them. He can give them, the tactics, the game plan, but at the same time, the players on the pitch have to carry it out to a certain standard. I feel like Arteta is, for me, like I don't know, because this is a playing style that's worked for us against a variety of teams, whether it's home or away. And I feel like there's a lot of the players today were a bit sloppy on the pitch. So for me, Arteta, like I will give him a 6, maybe even a 7, because this is a plan that's, like I said, it's worked for us.
Yeah,
and it's done well. But just how the players like bring those plans to life is the second part of his job, and that's something that he can only control so much of.
Yeah,
I think it's part. I don't know. Maybe I am looking at it from a different angle, right? But I think last week he came out and It's that anybody in that situation, any other manager could have just been like, those players didn't like do what I wanted them to do, or essentially, I don't think it's isn't his nature to kind of throw those players under the bus. But when he's annoyed, he'll voice his, you know, I mean, I feel like he's very, very
Vocal.
direct and you know, terrible performance, right? He came out and said that he loved the players and he appreciates working with those players as if it was the first day, let alone 2 or 3 years in. And he can't. It'll be one thing to now discredit the character that they've shown throughout the season over one game, and you know, completely just, you know, pretty much ruin everything he's worked with. I feel like those players had to respond today, and in a way they did, you know. But maybe not to the standard he would have liked. He may be disappointed with the result. Made a change. Clearly that change had worked. But I feel like there's only so much he can do from perspective where if the defense aren't handling balls of that quality, which I don't look at it in terms of very good quality at all. The bog standard clearances that I feel that should have been, you know, cleared or hoofed off the pitch. It's out of his control. You know, I've often gotten onto Arteta for being a reactionary manager in previous times. I don't think that there was much reactionary. I guess there wasn't really much reaction to look at and think, all right, cool, he's made a bad change. Or essentially, if we look further back in the season and how he played against United away from home, how that cost us, I feel like he's now kind of got the aspect of, like, cool, I kind of know what I'm doing now. You understand? So
he's learning.
I feel like a 6 is harsh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give. I'm not saying I'll give him a 10. You know, I'm not there.
I'd say like 6, 7.
I'll average y'all two's picks. I was looking at. I was about to say. So what you say? You said like what, 8?
I'm saying a 7.
Oh, 7? All right, cool.
I can agree on that.
Cool.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I was about to say. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. It's like a what? That's a 6. That's a 6.5. That's a 6.5. We'll hold the average by the bare math. So 6.57. I'll say 7. I'll round up. I don't care. Anyways. Listen, that's our ratings, bro. Let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of today's match, all the performances, who was great, who was bad for you. Let us know in the comment section below. Next week, Wednesday, Manchester City is going to be a hot one. The game of the season, our most important game of the season up to this point. Massive must-win game coming up. Thank you so much to Stay Ghosted and Timo Too Good for hopping in with me today. Listen,
anytime, brother.
Hey, listen, man. We got to keep the faith. We got to keep moving week by week, man. Roll on, Man City. Come on, boys. Catch y'all later.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.